Another day of Roland Garros action is complete, and we've had Alcaraz going through, Jannik Sinner going through, and Iga dishing up a double bagel.
That's right, Ben. Another day of tennis action in the books. And I think we're a bit overdue for one of these podcasts. We've not done a recap of some of the tennis action for a few days. I know I've been watching a lot of tennis. We've not been streaming as much as previous tournaments or Grand Slams particularly. But it's not stopped us watching it. We've watched an awful lot. And I thought the Moutet-Djokovic one was great.
Ooh, yeah.
Iga today has made me really question who possibly can beat her. She was so close to going up to Osaka. Now, since then, I think she's just going to be unstoppable. And loads to speak about with Alcaraz and Sinner. But where do you want to start?
Well, I thought we'd start with the weather, because the weather's been terrible over the past week. But this weekend, gorgeous sunshine finally hits our faces and the courts, and I was enjoying it. I was able to watch some tennis from outside, which was beautiful, with a beer in hand, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. This weekend has been great tennis, great weather, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to next week because it's all sunshine, ready for the second week of Roland Garros.
I love your positivity, but it's not been that sunny in France. Am I missing something? I've been watching the streams and everyone's wearing blankets. Well,
maybe it's just the UK then, but I think it's been okay today, all across Europe, so we haven't had too many problems.
I think your hopes or to please you is the boundary is very low.
Yeah.
You've set the bar low because it wasn't that warm in the UK, but I love the positivity.
For me it is, you know what I'm like.
For those who don't know, it was probably about 20 degrees at a push.
If it goes above 20, then I have to put this factor 50 on. So I know that it was a nice day today. I was sitting out in it. I was enjoying the tennis and got to watch some really good performances, I think, and some people who were tested, some who weren't. People who weren't tested, probably easier to start with those first. And it was Iga to start with. Double bagel. I mean, I don't know where we go with talking about this matchup because I think it was just so dominant. It was almost just like having a bye through the round, to be honest. I thought Potapova, he was my dark horse for the tournament. I mean, it's terrible.
I think this tweet highlights it. So Iga lost only 10 points in total.
I mean,
and that match is the most dominant tour level performance of any tournament, any round since 2010. WTA match stats are spotty before then, so let's just focus from 2010. It's unheard of dominating like that. Ashley Barty, did it in 2021. You've got Iga doing it in Rome against Pliskova. I remember I was so critical of the time of Pliskova in that final. She went afterwards and took loads of pictures of Italy and Rome and went round travelling. But this is crazy, that level of dominance.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Does she go back to the changing room ashamed of herself, or does she just see herself as just another Iga victim?
I think it's just a victim. And there's something about players with the surname that starts with P, because the last 4 years she's double bageled someone with a surname that starts with P. And this is the tweet. You've got Rome, Pliskova. You've got 2022 Billie Jean Cup, Presario. Back in Rome again, Pavlyuchenkova. Roland Garros now, Potapova. So 2025, where's your money at?
Maybe she does a Pliskova again. Oh, I don't know. She's probably high on the list. Maybe. I'm not sure. We'll have to go down the list. Maybe she just wants to get a few different names on that list.
I'm Monica Pugh.
Ooh.
He comes back from retirement.
fires that one in there.
No, I just can't think of any names beginning with P now on the women's. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's just... I was going to say Peyton Stearns, but that's a first name. Terrible. All right, no.
Moving on.
Moving on from that. And let's speak about Alcaraz next, because we spoke about...
Quickly, before we move on to Alcaraz, Iga, where do you rank her? Do you rank her as the best player out of her, Sabalenka and Rybakina so far?
It's hard to really judge.
Because they've looked really quite comfortably. They've all... Actually, include Coco Gauff in there.
Yep.
All four of them women have kind of breezed through the draw, apart from Iga in the match against Osaka, which I thought she probably is a bit fortunate to be here.
I think that with that match for Iga, it's actually been a positive for her.
I think so as well.
That's the bad thing.
I think that's what's made her now the big favourite because of that Osaka match. We've seen her, what she's done, one of the most dominant performances against a really good player in Potapova. And I think Rybakina has been awesome. I think she'd be my second. Saba maybe third, Coco fourth. But that's harsh on Coco. I think Coco, we know, former finalist here. She could do something good here.
My thoughts right now is the only person who can stop Iga is Rybakina. Just from like a mental standpoint, I feel like she's got the mental edge on everybody else and the physical edge on pretty much everyone other than Saba and Rybakina in the whole. So Rybakina's the only one who can beat her mentally. So if she makes it to the final and Iga's there, that's the only person she's not going to want to see on the other side of the court. Otherwise, I think she probably beats everybody.
All right, next up.
Yes, let's speak about Carlos Alcaraz and what a performance it was. I thought, maybe this could be close. Maybe this could be a very good match from Felix Auger-Aliassime. But unfortunately...
Did you really believe that?
There was part of me that just thought, is Felix back? But then, Carlos Alcaraz... I felt sorry for the crowd on Philippe Chatrier, if I'm perfectly honest, because they didn't really get much good tennis. They had a double bagel. They had Coco Gauff completely blitz her opponent, Cocciuretto, with only dropping 3 games. And then Carlos Alcaraz, 6-3, 6-3. And then the final set was just like... It was almost like Felix had just given up. And then Alcaraz just had to keep it together on 6-1 in the last set. But the one thing you always get with Carlos Alcaraz... there's a bit of flair, there's a bit of excitement. He slides around, he hits amazing backhand winners with a big rah afterwards and everyone gets excited. That's the one thing I thought today. He just made it look easy against Felix Auger-Aliassime. And I thought Felix was actually looking all right coming into this match, but it just goes to show the levels that Carlos Alcaraz is at above Felix. It's just leaps and bounds. He looked so good with all of his variety today. The drop shot was absolutely pulverizing Felix. Felix even tried a few himself, but they just didn't work in the same way. He went into the net with so many of them. He ran out of ideas. Alcaraz, he's going to be tough to stop, but he's got a tough match in the next round, as it shows on the screen here. Stefanos Tsitsipas is his next match. This is where it really starts to get tasty, I think.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about Alcaraz. He really impressed me today, and he's looking like a real contender to win this title. Maybe even a little bit more so than Jannik Sinner right now. Djokovic is growing, though, and playing well. But my highlight of the Alcaraz match was, I think it was between sets, or it might have been before the match. Now, my memory doesn't serve me too good. But the crowd were cheering for all of his, he was going through the motions, just warming up. Did you see that?
I know, I've not seen that.
There's no ball, and he's just sliding from side to side, and he's just practicing his swings. And every time he does one of the swings, the crowd go, "Way!" and they're all brewing for the next one, "Way!" and he was there laughing as well, going along. And then he started sliding more, playing along with it. It's a very, very funny video. It made me chuckle, and I've watched it since. And maybe I'm a bit weird, but I thought that was one of the funniest moments of today.
I just think even him warming up is more entertaining than watching some of the other matches, if I'm perfectly honest. This is why I thought that they weren't really treated to much else other than Carlos Alcaraz today, that centre court, because he brings something a bit different. There's a star quality that comes when Alcaraz comes onto a court, and I just love his style of play. This arm's not really causing him too much problem, which I don't think great to see. I mean, he's really hitting through the shots and you see
defending well as well, I think.
See how much power he puts into some of his shots. When Felix was just thought, I'm just gonna get closer to the baseline now. He's like, no, you're not. Like a really powerful one. And he ends up like another 2 meters behind the baseline, and then the drop shot comes in. It's just
this
incredible.
matchup here, Alcaraz-Tsitsipas, should be really good. Tsitsipas is playing very well as well. Good victory for him.
Arnaldi, wasn't it? Tough guy to beat.
Cocciaretto and Arnaldi both going out on the same day. I believe they're dating.
It's a good bit of I normally cover those. How did I not know about that?
I thought you'd do a news, but maybe you do that later.
Yeah, baby.
This is Tsitsipas's last chance to beat Alcaraz.
Ever?
I've had enough of it. This is his last chance. He's playing well at the moment. Alcaraz had a few doubts coming into the tournament. I know he's playing really well at the moment, but Tsitsipas, this is his time to beat him. If he doesn't beat him this time, he's not going to beat him. Or he might beat him, but not in a big match, and he's not going to be able to get his number. He can't keep losing. This has got to be a closer match than last time. I remember last one, I was watching it in Prague. I'd just arrived, and I watched... was it in Prague? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I was. And I was just there in some coffee shop, watching it while I was eating a soup in a coffee shop. Weird, I know. And I was so tired after travelling. And I think in the third set, Alcaraz was serving for a 6-3, and then it went all the way to a tie break, and he managed to cling on. But Tsitsipas got bullied to another level. It was so embarrassing. And it just doesn't look like he's ever close in winning a match or winning a set against him.
Yeah,
I don't really know. This has got to come close sooner or later. Obviously, he's never going to beat him. I think this is his last chance to beat Alcaraz.
It's going downhill, isn't it? I mean, since they played that US Open match in 2021 where Alcaraz beat him over 5 sets, it's just got gradually worse for Tsitsipas. And did you see the last time they played? Last year, Roland Garros, quarter-final, one stage later than they'll be playing now.
Yeah.
And it was just, like you said, dominant first 2 sets, and then Tsitsipas a small little...
He got bullied. He got bullied so much in that match. I watched all of it. And the reason I'm saying it's the last chance is because I think Carlos Alcaraz is going to get better and better. Yep. I think Tsitsipas has already hit his peak. I can't see him really getting any better than what we're seeing. Maybe a few years ago he was a bit better than what he is now, but still, this is the level. We're not going to see him drastically become something special overnight now. He's not going to peak late. Alcaraz is going to get better, and I feel if he can't beat him now, he's never going to beat him. He's running out of time.
Tsitsipas playing the doubles as well,
and the mixed doubles.
So is that going to be a distraction for him coming into this?
He's losing it. He's going to be straight sets, and I think it's a real disappointment for Tsitsipas because he's never going to beat Alcaraz.
I mean, I totally...
A bit like her catch with Dimitrov.
I like your observation. I feel like there is a ceiling for each of these players, and Alcaraz clearly hasn't hit his ceiling yet, whereas Tsitsipas, he has made 2 slam finals, and you think if he doesn't get a slam under his belt soon, he may never get one. It is a bit sad to look at it that way, but if he loses this in straight sets again, you really have to think like he just can't. He just doesn't have the game style to be able to play against Alcaraz. The power's too much, and he's going to target Tsitsipas's backhand with ultimate power. And if there's any sort of shanks coming off it, and it's not a good day on the backhand side for Tsitsipas, it's going to be a drubbing. So, but he needs to serve well, Tsitsipas. That's the one key. If he serves well and his backhand's going well, he stands more of a chance. But I still think Alcaraz will beat him. But
yeah, talking of one-sided head-to-heads, let's look at Dimitrov Hurkacz. I believe that's something similar. Yes. And I think they've played the last 7 tie breaks. They've played against each other. Dimitrov's won every single one of them.
That's nuts. Against Hurkacz as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's a very close matchup. A lot of the time they go to tie break, but Dimitrov wins all the time.
That's crazy as well.
It is, yeah. It's an interesting statistic.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most dominant performance that I've seen from Dimitrov against Hurkacz as well. I mean, the last one they played in Miami, it was very close, 3 sets. They played 3 sets in Paris. Dimitrov, all other than one, which was in Rotterdam last year, which was straight sets, Dimitrov have all gone the distance. So this one, I thought he looked great today, Dimitrov. That's the one thing I'd say with Tsitsipas. If he could go as aggressive as Dimitrov does with his backhand. I mean, Dimitrov's backhand was it's so flat and so powerful and straight down the line. I mean, Hurkacz didn't even stand a chance. He doesn't even have to put it in the corner as well. He just puts it fairly close to the edge, and it's so quick. Hurkacz doesn't have a chance.
As
Brilliant.
much as I'm saying about Steph, how he's got to do it sooner or later, because he's not going to peak. Maybe this is a perfect example of where I could be wrong, because Grigor Dimitrov, for me, is playing the best tennis we've ever seen from him. I think he has got better. And this year, sort of end of 2023, maybe most of 2023, certainly 2024, he's been incredible. One of the top 10 players in the world this year. He's tried 14 times at Roland Garros to get to a quarterfinal. He's finally got to his first one.
Well done to him. I mean,
just shows how he's playing extremely well. You look at just his career stats. I'm going to have a look at them. You can see he's doing well in a lot of the tournaments now, the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players that he's got such a beautiful game style that you feel like he deserves to be doing better, but you don't get anywhere with just a beautiful game. You actually have to have grit, determination, and consistency. And that's the one thing that he's improved more than anything, is just the consistency. And he's currently 8th in the ATP race at the moment, so he's still continuing.
Probably
that
2017 was his most successful year.
Yes, when he won the tour finals.
Yeah. And won Cincinnati as well. But there's loads of semi-finals in there of big events. He's got to so many semi-finals. But this year, he's already got to the final of Miami. And he's doing all right, mate. He got to the final of Paris last year, semi-final of Shanghai Masters. He's playing some of his best tennis, definitely, right now. I think this is the best version of Grigor Dimitrov, in my opinion. He's got to the quarterfinals now at the French. Could even go one step further. Why not?
Jannik Sinner up next for Grigor Dimitrov. I mean, he's playing so well. Yeah. This is a good opportunity to move on to Jannik Sinner, actually, and speak about his match against Moutet, which it started in the most shocking fashion. Moutet was serving for the bagel in the first set. I mean, I didn't know. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, what's happened to Sinner? Like, Moutet just drop shot. Sinner was like, what are you doing? Like, he's so good at the drop shot, Moutet, that I think
Moutet was at his wild best in this match. You saw his antics. The underarm serve was out. He was smacking his rackets around, getting frustrated with himself. I think that's the best version of Moutet, arguing with the umpire. That's him being his true self, and he almost did a number on Sinner. I say almost. It only lasted for a set, but definitely surprised a lot of people. I think there's only 2 players who have beaten Sinner for a long time by a set of 6-2, and that's Alcaraz and now Moutet.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very a solid set as well. I wouldn't say that it was lucky. I think he just outplayed.
He doesn't
Sinner.
lose sets like that, Sinner, ever.
No, but the one thing we got to look at on this as well is the way, even though Moutet started the second set in the same fashion, Sinner quickly broke him back, and then it was now we're in business, right? Okay, let's focus on the task, get this next set, and then once we're 1 set all, I know I can beat you. And then it just looks like clear as day. After he got that second set, it was just. I knew it was going to end.
He was looking good, actually, Sinner, as it went on.
Very good, very good. I mean,
was he as good as Alcaraz?
I think it was a more difficult match. As crazy as it is to say, I wouldn't have said that coming in. Moutet was a more difficult match than Felix, but
No, I
considering it's
disagree.
in France and how
I don't think
awkward-
Moutet's that good, man. He made a lot of mistakes and errors.
No, but I think that he's awkward. He's a lefty as well, which I think that Sinner was
He's
struggling
a more
with.
pump being in France. He's got that
Exactly.
Hugo Gaston effect.
Exactly right. I feel that he plays up to it as well, but it sort of works negatively against him. As soon as he started losing, you can see he throws his like dummy out the pram and then it's done. So
Yeah.
Sinner knew he just needed to break him mentally. Once he'd broken him mentally, it was done. And you saw there with the last 3 sets, 3 games, 2 games, 1 game. If they'd have played another set, it would have been a bagel. That's what I personally believe. That's how it was going.
Yeah.
So, well, I have great performance though. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the other results as well on the list. Well done to Ons Jabeur. She's having a great resurgence in this tournament. Someone, I'm not sure if I really expected it, but she's got the level. But Clara Towson's been having a good tournament. Not an easy match. Did well to come through that one, and excited to see her play now against Coco Gauff. That's going to be a tough match, I think, for Ons Jabeur.
I don't see her beating Coco.
No, neither me. But tough match in either way. I think Coco won't like the fact that Ons Jabeur is on the other end of the court and back in form. So I think it's a good match for both of them. Vondrousova's just sort of somehow just making her way through this tournament.
Nice draw.
Yeah, very
The
good
King Wen
draw.
Zheng US Open draw Vondrousova's had.
I mean, she struggled through the last match, wasn't it? I think the first set she's been a bit up and down, wasn't it? No, it was volley nets that she struggled past. She got bageled by volley nets and then managed to just come back and win 6-1, 6-4, and then I mean Paquette in the next round. I mean, it's not a good.
Not even
draw,
one
is
to
it?
talk about, to be fair. I don't want to burst your bubble.
She's made the final before. But
No, but I'm saying right so far, I just don't think she's been
No.
challenged. So it's not. I don't have any comments.
she's
to
playing
say.
Iga next.
Exactly. So let's see. I reckon it will be 1 and love, 1-on-1.
I mean, how crazy is it that that's the way that we think it's probably going to go?
So I don't think Van der Elst was having a great year. He's just had a nice draw.
I was going to say, what do you think? What do you make of the fact that normally we see lots of like unknowns coming through on the women's? It's just a lot of
Yeah.
seeds, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, only Mila Andreeva.
Same with the
maybe.
men's, though. I mean, there's not really been many shocks on the men's, have there?
Not really. I'd say-
Rublev?
yeah, I mean, Arnaldi was the one, and now he's gone as well. There's not really many
All
shots.
the seeds are doing well. All of the big seeds are going through this event at the moment. And we've got the big 4 on both.
Yeah, we do. Djokovic, he obviously went through against Musetti. He's up against Francisco Cerundolo in the next round, which I've just put a preview out for that one, so go check that one out. And if you want to go and check out us interviewing Francisco Cerundolo, I'll pop a link in the description as well, so you can go and check that out. It was a few years ago, but a still very entertaining, very funny interview. He's a really nice guy. And I'm really torn on that match of who I would want to win, because
Really?
I love Cerundolo. If Cerundolo won Roland Garros, I'll be so happy. But I don't want to see him beat Djokovic then go out.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? Because that is
Well, this is the
very
stage I've
possible.
got Djokovic going out before the tournament began. I thought he would be able to get through Musetti. I think I did say Djokovic in 5 on the preview, if you went back to it.
Oh, wow.
But do I see him going through this next round? I thought he was going to lose to Tommy Paul. It's not Tommy Paul. It is Cerundolo instead. Cerundolo may be easier than Tommy Paul, but yeah, Cerundolo's playing well. So I'm going to be back in Cerundolo to knock out Djokovic.
Yeah, I mean, he did a number on Tommy Paul, and Tommy Paul was playing really well. He looks accurate right now. He looks focused.
I
He
didn't
looks like
watch
he's got
it.
Fire.
Did you watch it, that one?
I've watched like an extended highlights of
okay.
the Cerundolo match, but you see some of the angles and he's hitting lines.
He's hitting well, is he?
Yeah, he's hitting well, and he looks like really fired up as well. Smashing, roaring, and the crowd are loving him. So long may it continue. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if if he won that match. I mean, Djokovic going out would be horrible, but if he had to go out to anyone, I'd say Cerundolo would be the man.
Fair enough. Well, let's wrap it up there. If you want to join us tomorrow, we'll be doing a live watch along of Rune versus Zverev. Initially, I'm going to be going for Zverev to win in 4 sets. That's my prediction. It should be a good one. Please join us for that. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and check us out on Spotify, where all of these podcasts are as well.
Oh, well, au revoir.
See you soon.